Right, guys, welcome back to my... All right, we do it then. Right, guys, welcome back to my YouTube. I know I missed last week, but I was busy with client shows, making sure clients were on point, but we are back. We are just over 6 weeks out from my regional show, and we are going in with a leg day. If you guys follow my Instagram, you know that I've not trained legs properly for about 3 years and have maintained and somehow even grown my legs through the last couple of years. So we are now throwing legs back into the mix now that we have brought my upper body up and we have created balance to my physique just to hold my legs while I'm going through prep. But that said, I've only really got maybe 5 leg sessions left. So we are going to make every single one of those count, because when we get to a week out, legs will be pulled and then we won't be probably putting them in until after the shows, because I'm pretty much going on a weekly run, show after show after show, depending on where we place, depending on how we look, depending on what we need to do. If we get a win early on, then we don't need to do all the shows, but we will do what we need to do, but we won't be training legs. So I'm going to take you guys through my leg day. I am also running through some sets with my client Anton, who is just over a week out from PCA Wales, which is a pro qualifier, and the regional the day before in Wigan for the two bros, because we will then be chasing that IFBB Pro Card, which we have set goals. We want it before he turns 30, and that is something that we are trying to bring. So I'm going to keep an eye on him while he's training, because we've got some very similar exercises in there. Also, on the side note of where I'm at currently in prep, yesterday we hit a low of 114.1 kilo. We refed, as that was a 1.9 kilo drop since Saturday. So we had a 700 gram carb refeed yesterday, all from sources that I'm using consistently. Maybe a nice little muffin in there as well, because we all know a muffin pump. So we've got plenty of fuel going into today. So I'm expecting today to be a mega leg session, and I'll catch you guys at the first exercise. So we're going to start with the adductor. So some people will argue this and they don't like to start with it because they think it's going to take away from the stabilization doing their big compound movements, and they like to do the compound movements first. But for me, my biggest issue going into the compound movements is my hip mobility. I want to warm my hips up, I want to get my hips moving. So I find doing this first allows me to open my hips up so I can get into my big compound movements afterwards. And it works for me, might not work for you. So give it a try if you like it. If you don't, whatever works for you. And this is where plans become personal. You've got to make it fit you, fit what works for you. And if it's taken away from your big lifts too much, put it later on in your workout and maybe just do some mobilization of your hips. But for me, this works a dream to start off with. Right. Should be. Love you. Right, guys, exercise number 2. So we've just done 2 sets on the adductor. So we did a set of 8 to 12 and a set of 12 to 15. We're now going to move over to the prime leg extension. So guys, when you set this up, I've spoken numerous times about lining up joints, make sure your hip, knee and ankle are all in alignment. I've said it on numerous videos. That's one thing you want to be aware of, to not put shearing forces on the knee to allow the quad to actually do the movement and lengthen and shorten to pull that knee through flexion and extension. Also, why we use the leg extension as part of our leg training is because it's the one exercise that actually trains the rec fem. So when we squat, our rec fem doesn't actually change length because the knee and hip move, therefore it stays the same length throughout the movement. Whereas when you're training a leg extension, you can hit your rec fem. And also, when we look at moment arms, the leg extension is the only exercise that you can shorten the quads with a load. Because due to the moment arm, when you stand up to the top of a squat, there is no load going through as there is no moment arm. Therefore, you're not training the quad in the short position. This will allow you to do so. So we're going to try and hit that now, and then we're going to move on to the big compound fun stuff. Also guys, when you're setting this up, try and get the seat a little bit further back than you normally would, just to allow you to hit that rec fem a little bit more. Fuck. Right, let's get to the fun stuff. Squat time. I was just talking about connection, and doing your warm-up sets is a really good time for you to get that connection with the weight, with the machine, and also determine what your top set is going to be. I've spoken time and time again about logbooks, and like I said, a logbook is a great thing if all your life variables are in line, but you might be training later in the day and all that sort of shit, so don't take the logbook too to heart. What I like to go by is a stern progressive stimulus. You're still progressing, you're still working to your maximal effort. You're still trying to get better every single time. But when you're going through your warm-up sets, you know when something feels heavier than last time. You know when something's off. And having that connection with your body to understand that, right, that weight's probably a little bit too much for me this week. I'm also on prep. I need to determine where to stop and what work to work with. Because one week it might feel great. Another week it might not. Take that weight back a little bit. That's absolutely fine. Try and stick within that rep range that you intend to get that time under tension, because that's going to put your workload closer than falling short with a load that you feel too heavy today. On the other hand, if it feels too light, put more weight on. Get your progressive overload, progressive stimulus that way. Like for me today, 4 plates felt great. So I'm going back to my 5 plates as I always have been. In the off season, that's going to feel more normal. But in prep, there might be certain weeks where stuff feels fucking shit. You might be training later in the day, you've had a shit night's sleep, your food's come down, you've had more cardio to do, more steps. So the weight just doesn't move the same. But today, everything feels great. Had a high day yesterday, so we're going to go with these 5 plates. We're going to try and beat 10 reps. That's the goal for today. May hit it, might not, but that's what I got in my head. But I also won't beat myself up if I don't. But I will work till I can't fucking get up again. Called it, 10 reps. Are you jumping in? Yeah. I've got one more set, but go for it. Right guys, you'll watch a lot of people train, and I'm not saying this is wrong, because this worked for some people, but you'll see people hyping themselves up, people trying to get into the mood, trying to live their worst nightmares, trying to get their mindset into a point of going to war. You don't see that with me getting into any set, because I don't fear the weight. I know I can control this weight. There is no reason for me to be scared of going into this set. Yes, it's going to hurt. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable. And I'm going to take it to a point of maximal exertion. But it's not a load I can't control. It's not a load I'm going to get scared to be stuck down there with. In the past, I have trained like that. And I grew nowhere near as good. I took it better and grew better when I took the weight back to a weight that I could control, make my muscle do the work, not fuck my CNS up, not end up with shit night's sleep, not needing to deload all the time. And like I say, it worked for some people, having them rip and grip sets, feeling that inner cunt and just fucking going for it. But for me, you'll always see me relaxed in the gym. I'll go into my top sets and people don't even know I'm going into my top set. I know that load is fully controllable for a set of 8 to 12 reps on my top load set, but I also know I'm going to control the eccentric, I'm going to pause in the lengthened position, I'm going to drive out of that bottom, and I'm going to be in full control of that movement. At no point will that weight ever own me up until that last rep where I know I can't go again. So there is no reason for me to be scared. There is no reason for me to get amped up like a motherfucker. I'm going to do the best I fucking can on this. I will give it all, and that's why I grow feel great because I do still take it towards failure, but under control with no fear. That's where a lot of people get amped up because they're fucking scared of the weight. They think the weight can control them. No, I'm in control. This is my house and I'm gonna fucking take this where I wanna take it. That's a wrap on that leg press time.
That's it, isn't it? Might just skip leg days for 3 years. Just hope.
So guys, what you'll see, the variation I do with this leg press, I go with more of a sumo squat, high and wide, and try and make it more hip dominant. Again, I can bore you all with moment arms and stuff like that, but where the line of force comes, I'm trying to put more torque over the hips. Obviously there is going to be some knee bend, but I'm trying to aim this one more at my hamstrings, glutes, adductors, opposed to quad dominant, which I aim for with the hack squat. So the way I set my leg training up tries to cover all bases on how I do every movement for every workout I do. I try and hit the full perspective and prioritize the muscles that I'm weak in. And that's how I plan all my workouts, guys, is with specificity towards my current needs. Stop staring at my arse, you pervert. So guys, I didn't talk about doing the hamstring curl a second ago. I just kind of cracked on. So when I get to the hamstring component of my leg day, I like to train the hamstrings through some form of knee movement and hip movement. So we're training both ends of the hamstring. So I use the hamstring curl and an RDL. I'm only going to do one set of RDL, it wasn't plural. So I'm going to do one set of RDLs anywhere between that 8 to 12 rep range. Slow eccentric, pause in the stretch. Really focus on driving my hips back and creating a moment arm through my hip to create more torque at the hip joint. So that is what we're going to do for the hamstring component. You've already seen a lot of the pressing motion. So we do have a hamstring dominant press, we have a hamstring curl, plus we have the RDL. This will also work the glutes, the erectors, and the full posterior for that matter. But that's why I like to have this in there, because it's the only movement I also train my erectors with throughout the week, as I do no bent over rows or anything like that. So I like to keep some form of erector training in my program as I go through. So like I said, I pre-plan my whole training structure to hit everything that I desire, but I'm not big on doing lots of deadlifts, because I believe anything that's going to strengthen your core up and increase the thickness of your core is going to create a thicker waist. That means your ratios from your waist to your shoulders are just going to get worse. So you need to create a bigger shoulder base while trying to minimize any growth around that midsection. So I try to keep this to one set, and I don't go too heavy. I try and focus on keeping it more through the actual hamstrings, glutes, and erectors doing the work. That's that, let's move on. I am done now, you don't have to video this.
This looks dead cute, doesn't it?
My legs don't normally sit like this. It's not very comfortable.
Is that the closest your legs have ever been in the last like 7 years?
Probably. Perfect.
I've got it in the car.
And that is a wrap. Legs are done, dusted, hit from all angles. Only 2 sets on leg days because they're not an area I need to bring up, just to maintain. And we've done everything we need to, where we'll be 6 weeks out on Saturday. So really, we've only got 5 weeks of work left to do because the last week is chilling, relaxing, no leg days. So 5 more leg sessions to go and maybe 10 sessions of everything else. So every set, every session from this point on, as it has for the last 10 weeks, fucking counts. And I say last 10 weeks, everything from the last time I stepped on off stage has counted. That is going towards my next time on stage, bringing a better package, better version of me, a more balanced look with the same condition. So we're going to be bigger, better, more balanced. And this year, we don't want any more third places. We're coming for fucking wins. I want that pro card. I want it bad. Whether it's this year, whether it's the year after, whether it's the year after that. Every session I do, every show I do is working towards that. And then we don't stop there. It's on to the next goal, and that's the Olympia.